Hi and hello peeps! Today, in preparation for the Daytona 24 hours, we are looking into a hot lap with the Ferrari 296. So first of all, we will look into the hot lap itself. You can enjoy it silently, and afterwards I will give you some information how I drove this and how you are able to get at a decent pace. By the way, don't be irritated by the time comparison on top. That's a qualifying lap I did, but with this laps you should be easy to go, let's say mid 45s to lower 46s, and if the track condition is pretty bad you still go like mid to high 46s, so that's pretty nice, pretty good. With my pace, I'm not the fastest, so I'm at I think 1.5 to 1.8 k iRating, but in the GT3s I got 2 pole positions, so I would say that's pretty nice.
Alright, clear, left side, clear.
So now in the analysis, we start with going wide into turn 1, therefore I used to get the finish line as my marker when I start to get to the outside, so I get enough space to enter turn 1 with a great line, and the line I take here is orientated on those 2 white lines basically overlapping into a straight line. And my braking point is also a little bit in front of this first white line, as you will see now. So we want to go pretty straight with braking and then turn left right around when we start to get to the outside of the road, and turn in, go pretty close to the tires on the inside, and second gear here, just go on the throttle early and get a nice exit out of this turn. Some people prefer to go a little bit wider, get a little bit more of exit speed, but I think this is a very crispy line and you should be able to easily adjust it to driving in or outside in a fight. So we go full throttle through turn 2 and 3, and into turn 4, my braking point is when those little pylons, when those start to get out of your screen. I guess I have a pretty standard FOV, so it should be about the same with you. Then orient on the curb, try to get in the middle of the curb on it a little bit and get a nice exit with gear 1. Sometimes you get a little bit of oversteer, a little bit of sliding the tires, but that's fine. Just go with the throttle, maybe lift it a little bit and get a very nice exit. Then full speed through corner 5, By the way, here you have to watch out in the outlap. So when your tires are cold, this corner is very slippery. Take it a wide line, just safety first. Don't spin here. That's very important. And into corner 6, my braking point is on the left side again with those orange pylons a little bit before they end a brake. Also, you can see there is like a little sort of hill in the road right around the point I try to brake. Those are two really good indicators where you want to brake. And you brake down to gear 1 and try to get a smooth corner just as corner 4. Also, try to take the curb right around the middle of it on the inside and go towards the curb on the left outside in the exit. Here again, very hard on the throttle and preparing then already for turn 7. So as soon as you go to the left side on the road, you already want to start to go to the right. And here you want to brake a little bit before the curbing begins after the road part. So still on the road, so basically like 2/3 onto the road, you start braking, go down into gear 2 is my preferred one. Sometimes you want to go into gear 1 as well as in turn 1. You also want to go into gear 1 sometimes if you feel like you need a little bit more rotation. That can help a lot. And the safe way here is of course gear 2 because you won't get that much wheel spin with it. Then when you accelerate out of turn 7, you want to watch out for this little bump in the road. So the road goes down, then a little bump upwards and again down. And the upwards one is what can, not must, but can sometimes give you a little bit of oversteer, so you start spinning. Therefore, I prefer to sometimes just lift a little bit the throttle at that point. So now we are on the oval. On the oval, the main thing you want to recognize is stay as low as possible, because the higher you go, the more energy you lose in going to the high side, and also the more distance you have to drive, because of course the outer part of the corner is more distance than the inner part, and therefore we stay on the inside. And as soon as we go out of the corner, we want to go towards the right side to prepare for the chicane, for the bus stop. Here we brake a little bit before the 100 mark, so at 120 roundabout I would say, and I go initially down to gear 4 and then into the first turn, or before the left and the right turn of the bus stop, I go down into gear 3. Very important in this chicane is you always want to go for a good exit here, because the exit speed matters. Sometimes you have to watch out for cars in front that are a little bit slower and slow down even more in the bus stop. So pay attention here. Don't bump the others in the back, and you still want to go for a good exit, because now comes the long straightaway. You want to have as much speed as possible and just zoom the shit out of the straight. So another rule in the bus stop is you want to watch out for those cuts. You can cut a little bit, you get some off track sometimes, but very important is you don't want to get a penalty, because those penalties will not cost you the 1 second that stays above, but 2 to 3 seconds because of the speed loss on the straight and the time you need to slow down until you even get this timer down. So watch out, don't get slowdowns. That's really, really important here. Most of the time, the straight is barely long enough to even get towards the point you can overtake. So every bit of speed matters really, really hard here. So again, oval rules, you want to stay as close as possible down to the yellow line. And here comes something very important. So the main rule for the people that don't drive oval usually, the important one is you don't go beneath the yellow line. As soon as you go beneath the yellow line, you are responsible to go upwards. So if you go below the yellow line and there's a car right next to you, they are not responsible to give you space. So they can stay on the lane and you are just fucked, because you have to go towards the flat part, not through the banking, and that's just shit. Then we finish our lap, and as soon as I go over the finish line, I already orientate myself towards the next lap, go outside preparing corner 1, and that's your hot lap. As I said, 45s to 46 is what you get with that line easily if you know how to throttle and brake. Use especially in corner 1 and corner 4, as well as a little bit into corner 6 and 7, but especially 1 and 4, you need those trail brakings. It's such an important part because you just want to brake as long as possible and go on throttle as early as possible, always giving you time back. You get that. So that was it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you, and maybe see you next time. Bye bye.